All right, so I'm here today with this Isuzu Rodeo Sport. This is a very unique and just cool, fun little midsize SUV. This one's from 2002. And these were, in Japan, they were called the Isuzu MU, which means mysterious utility, and that's not a bad translation. That's just what they called these things. You know, this is 90s Japan that we're talking about. They're just pumping out all sorts of fun, wacky stuff, and this car is no exception. But you know, these were very reliable, very dependent vehicles. You know, Isuzu and their General Motors relationship. Sometimes, you know, certain things in these cars were known to go bad. Some of the late 90s V6 cars had plastic PCV valves, you know, which led to excess oil consumption. Just little things like that. But generally speaking, you know, you don't see these that often, but when you do, they have 300,000 or more miles on the clock. You know, it's just, they're dependable. Many people, this is their first car, so, you know, you just beat the snot out of them, but they can take a beating, you know? It's just, they're very fun little trucks. So this is very much an Isuzu vehicle, right? I mentioned GM and some of the badge engineering that goes on there, but this is tried and true, developed, designed, and built by Isuzu. The only difference being specifically with this one, the 4-cylinder gasoline engine was designed it was a joint project between Holden, Daewoo, which is now GM Korea, and GM. So all General Motors under there, and you'll see some of the trim on the interior, the steering wheel. As the production run went on, the GM influence started to get a little bit deeper. These were also marketed as Honda Passports, by the way, but that was literally, they just slapped Honda badges on them. That was, you know, not even much of a difference there. But anyways, so this one has a 5-speed manual, which is very nice. You don't see that as often, and that's nice to see. It's a great gearbox, and it goes just to the rear wheels on this one, which means being a 2002, you have discs up front, drums in the rear. You have this removable hardtop in the back with the exposed roll cage. It's very, you know, almost got a little bit of that Subaru Baja kind of shape going on. It's just too much fun. I think without further ado, let's just take this thing out on the road and go for a little drive. Show you how it goes. This was owned by a mechanic over at Speed Sport Tuning in Danbury, Connecticut, a very well-known Porsche racing and just street car service center. They do all sorts of track support all over the U.S. But the reason I say that is that basically no expense was spared with this car. You know, with maintaining it, getting it right. You know, little details like the front and rear skid plates were powder coated. But you know, going into the mechanicals, it has a new timing belt, new timing belt tensioners, new spark plugs. Obviously, new tires, but new brakes all the way around. Some new pads up front, new shoes in the back. And, you know, also suspension bits, right? So front, lower and upper ball joints were all replaced. Front and rear sway bar end links were replaced. You know, it really, the list doesn't really stop there, which is all indicative of a, you know, just a well taken care of example. And it's only got 113,000 miles on the clock there, which, like I said, you just don't really see on these cars. But very smooth shifts. Starting off here, we are decently up to temp. And for the rest of the drive, I will actually just shut my mouth and let you enjoy this early 2000s midsize SUV, take in the sights and sounds, and really just get a feel for it. It does have the tilting moonroof right there, which is very nice. And I love these white gauges in the dash. It's just too cool. For eagle-eyed viewers who recognize where I am right now, this is the former Danbury Fairgrounds, which used to be a racetrack back in the day. And now it is a mall and a parking lot, like all good things American. There you go. Yeah, it's not a sports car. Contrary to the sport in the name, which is, by the way, it's just marketing. There's no, like, this is not a sport trim. It's just Rodeo Sport. But, you know, that's not what this is for. This is just you could daily the ever-living crap out of this car for another multiple 100,000 miles. And really, like, just keep an eye on the timing belt. Replace that. Make sure it's good. It is an interference engine, you know, just the basics right there. And just do your due diligence, you know, keep an eye on the spark plugs. But other than that, just keep driving it, you know. This car's got plenty of life in it. Or, for God's sake, you know, put it in a museum. There's a really big bump right there. This thing just ate it. Oh yeah, it's got, you know, new shocks and struts all the way around. I forgot to mention. Literally every single bit and bob on this car that, like, you know, just depletable, replaceable items, it's all been looked at. It's all been taken care of. You know, buy this car, you don't have to do anything. The oil has been changed every 2,500 miles, which is, you know, some might say that's overkill, but is it? I mean, you are guaranteeing, to some degree, additional life on the motor. So that's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions at all, if you'd like to see something else on this car, please do not hesitate to ask. I will show engaging reverse real quick. And you know, I think that's the best course of action. I'll be here until the end of this auction to answer your questions, comments, concerns. If you'd like to see the car in person, if you're local, come check it out. We can arrange that. Parking brake goes on great. And yeah, I appreciate you tuning in, and until next time, thanks for watching. Good luck.